Hello everyone, my name is Lizzy. Thank you so much for joining me today for my 2024 Wip Parade. I'm very excited about it. I have a few stats for you before we jump in, and then I will show you all my whips. So, total starts this year. We're going to start with that. So my total starts this year are 68, which is quite a few. Those do count as like series. So I've got a few like 12 Days of Christmas ornaments going. I've got 2 sets of those. And so I'm counting each individual one of those as a start, but also each individual one of those as a finish. So I have 58 total finishes. Some were from last year, some are from this year. So 58 total finishes. And then I currently have 15 whips. So let's go ahead and get started and jump in. I have everything written out, so if you see me glance down, I'm looking at my notes so I don't misinform you of anything. But just in case I forget anything, I'll have everything written down below of the flosses I'm using, if anything's converted, fabric, stitch count, 2/2, 1/1, whatever it may be. All that will be down below if you want some more information or didn't understand me because I'm talking too fast or the southern accent, whatever it may be. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, the first one I have is actually a free pattern. This is Mary Yerger, 1859, and this is from Just Stitching Along. This is actually a free pattern. And I'm stitching on 32 count smoky white, and it is, vintage smoky white, 2/2 using the called for flosses. I have one more line of letters there, and then it goes into all the little motifs. Started that in Sampler September this year, and I'm using the called for flosses so far, and I'm planning to use them. There is that. I really love the color of this fabric. It's just the perfect, just like off-white, dirty white almost. Super pretty. I am going to be putting these back in bags, so if you see me cutting in between whips, there's a lot of cuts. That's why, so you don't have to hear me zipping and stuffing, but yes, that's what I'm doing. And I do keep all my projects in these like Amazon bags. I'm sure you've seen. I love them. I like that I can see through them. And I'll label them with a piece of painter's tape, or sometimes I'll put a little label on them, like a little Avery label as well. So yeah, that's how I'm storing all of them. All right, next is another free pattern that I actually designed. This is the Gingerbread Tiered Tray by Lizzie's Purple Cloud, me. Again, I'll link this one below. It's 28 count touch of pink is the fabric. I'm using the call for flosses, and like I said, this is a free pattern. This is a more of a true color of that pink. I feel like the camera never picks up pink or purple. I'm trying to get, it's a little bit, that's it right there. You see that? That's the actual color of the pink. But here it is. I haven't done much on it. I started it in Christmas in July, and I haven't picked it up. I wanted to pick it up this Christmas season, but I just haven't. I've had other things I've been working on. So hopefully I can do some more on that this Christmas in July for 2025, or next Christmas in July, I guess. The next one is the Prairie Schooler Santa's 12 Days of Christmas. I stitched days 1 through 7 this year, and I'm currently working on 8, but I'm hoping to get them all complete in 2025. This one is what I have so far for day 8. This is on 18 count rustico. I did change this red to 817, and I changed that dark red to 815. So originally this is 815, and that's like another color, but I changed it. I just wanted to brighten that red a little bit. I was inspired by Tiger Lily's Aurifil conversion, but I didn't want to spend the money to do Aurifil, so I went ahead and just brightened it up with DMC, and all I changed were the reds, but I really do think it makes a difference. You can see there's one behind me there on my tree finished. I've got a few of them up there. The next one is another Sampler September start. This is M. Grhodes, 1890 from Crafty MJC on Etsy. And my goal with Sampler September was to close that border, which I did not do. So I don't have much work on that. But the fabric is 36 count gunmetal, stitching at 1/2 using the called for flosses so far. And yeah, it is slow going since there's a real true color of that fabric there. You can't see the whole thing. There's a real true color of that fabric, which is really pretty. It's like a dark gray. It is a little bit slower going than some of my other projects just because it is on 36 count and a dark fabric. And I feel like the combination of that has made it a little bit more slow going. I have not picked it up since Sampler September. So yeah, I need to work on that. I'm going to say that about all of these. Like, obviously, if I'm working on them in their whips, I love them all. Actually, I say that. And the next one is one that I'm probably going to UFO/rip out. So this is Hello from Liz Mathews Spring House. I'll put the picture of the pattern here. I started this, I got it at market. I think it was a market release, but I know I ordered it in like spring. And here's the fabric. I was going to stitch it all on one piece of fabric. This is 32 count shale. It's a Belfast linen and really pretty fabric. Does not feel like a 32 count to me. It definitely feels like a 36, which I don't have a problem with the 36, but it just definitely feels like a 36. I'm stitching this 1/2, and this is just a crew, but I'm probably going to rip it out. I don't love the way the stitches look on here. I just don't love it in general. I'm not enjoying stitching on it. There's something about this fabric I just am not enjoying. I don't know what it is. I think maybe if I did something else on it, I would love it. This would be perfect for like a Halloween piece. Flip it to the other side. Perfect for a Halloween piece. It's beautiful fabric. I'm just not loving it, and I'm not loving this on it, and I'm not enjoying working on it. So I do think this is going to be one of the 2 items I'm going to UFO. There is one more that I'm going to UFO, but it might be like a restart. I'm not sure yet. So next is Let Us Adore Him by Sweet Wing Studio. And there's that pattern. This is a pretty recent start. I believe I started at the end of November, beginning of November, something like that. And I do have the called for fabric, which is 16 count woodland. And you can see my start over there. It's quite a pitiful start. But there it is. I am doing a bit of a floss conversion, which I'll show you in a minute. I didn't want to use the fancy flosses given, and some of the DMCs, which like there's nothing wrong with fancy flosses. I just wanted to use DMC, and some of the DMCs that were given, I feel like didn't match the fancy flosses as well as I would have liked. So I chose to convert a few things. So here is my color conversion. Take a screenshot of that if you want, if you're interested. Ooh. So yeah, there's my color conversion. This one I really like. The fabric to me, if you've stitched on this fabric, please let me know if you feel the same way. It just feels spongy. That's the only word I can think to describe it. It just feels spongy. I just don't love it. To me, it's kind of like working on black too, because it looks kind of bright in the camera, like when I hold it up here, but it is more like this green. So it's more like working on a black fabric too, where it's taking me a little bit longer, and I don't love the fabric texture. So yeah, I'll get back to this one soon, but not right now, not this season. Next one is one that I started again this spring, and it's a big pattern, probably the biggest one. I don't know, maybe not. There's another one, but this is Spooky Countdown by the Primitive Hair. So you can either finish it as tiny little pillows and then 2 big ones, or as one full piece. And to save myself all the hand sewing, because I don't have a sewing machine, I am doing one big piece. So here it is. Here's what the full piece is going to look like, how big it's going to be. And this is what I have done. I'm stitching on a 32 count lamb's wool that I coffee tea dyed 2/2 using the called for flosses. And I believe there's like 6 called for flosses in this. It's a very minimal floss list for such a big whip. And I just adore it. It's one of those that like I don't think to pull out, but every time I pull it out, it gets me excited and I love it. So yeah, I love all these little boxes there. And somebody commented on a previous video and said to a good idea to finish it would be on a washboard. So I am looking for a washboard big enough. I've kind of calculated what the size should be, and so I'm looking for a washboard big enough to possibly finish that on. Okay, next is a Lola Crow Cross Stich, the Deadly Aquarium. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll know I worked on this a lot during the stitch along, and then I have not worked on it in the past 2 or 3 months. So here it is. I love it so much, and it's almost done. but not quite. I haven't done any of that tassel, but I'm going to kind of give you a close-up. So this one is being stitched on 36 count Nessie 1/2 using on the called for flosses. God bless you if you want to do a floss conversion on this, because that's a lot of colors, unless it's like 1 or 2. But it's so pretty. I just absolutely adore it. This is my favorite thing I've worked on this year. I feel like this has grown me the most as a stitcher. That alligator down there, oh my gosh, crocodile. I think it's crocodile. Yeah, it is crocodile because the sign says beware crocodiles. I just cannot tell you how much fun I've had on this and how much I've enjoyed every minute of it. This was a piece I worked on a lot this year when we were in the process of moving. And it just really holds a very special place in my heart. I just love it. I need to finish that tadpole basically down here. That is my January goal. That's my #1 January goal, is to finish that tadpole and to get this finished and then to frame it. So yeah, love that one. Probably my favorite whip that I have right now. Next is Cup of Christmas Cheer from Pinker and Punkin Quilting. This is a freebie that I have been working on. I started it in Christmas in July and then picked it back up right before the Jingle Ball and worked on it. I'm stitching this on 32 count petit, pointe, raw slash white belfast linen 2/2 using the called for flosses. I've got it set up for filling on his beard right now, and then all I have to do is the tree at the top. Fill in the face. Oh, there's a little bit of red right there too. Fill in his face and then it will be done. There are some like snowflakes scattered around, but I don't think that's going to look good with this fabric. I just think it's kind of going to look muddy if you have like a white snowflake and half of it's going over the dots and half of it's not. So I am going to omit those. All right, next is the other project that I'm not sure if I will continue to work on. I need to rip it out and I've started ripping it out if you see any like loose threads. But this is Beach Boardwalk by Country Cottage Needleworks. This is the saltwater taffy shop, and my stitching is off. I have no idea what I did, but it's so off, and you can like really see it. This is the called for fabric, by the way, but you could see like I came out totally wrong here, and then there's a huge opening there. I just need to rip it out, but I don't know if I want to restart it or not, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it anyway. Like I just thought it was really cute, but I don't know. So I'm probably going to rip this out, and I don't know if I'm going to restart it or not. That is undecided, undetermined. And the floss for that one, I used the DMC conversion provided in the pattern. My next pattern is another big one. This is Gilmore Girls by Stitch Area. This one, you do have to message the Etsy shop if you're interested in it. They don't have it readily available. You do have to message them. That's what I did. And here it is. I'm stitching on 32 count lamb's wool. This one is wrinkly. My gosh, I do apologize for that. But here it is. This has been a big focus since about July-ish? April, July, I don't know. I've worked on it a lot this year. I did start it this year. Everything I'm showing here, I've started this year. I would love to get all these big projects finished in 2025. I would like to not carry any whips. I feel like right now, the size of whips I have from 2024, I could finish them all in 2025. This is the only one that I feel like would be a stretch a little bit, just because there's so many small motifs, but I definitely think I could do it if I continue working away on it. I'm using all the called for flosses. Like I said, it's on 32 count lamb's wool, and I'm stitching it 2/2. I do apologize that that one is so wrinkly too. Must have not. Normally I roll them when I put them in my bag, instead of folding them, but that roll must have got bent while it was in there. Honorable mention is the 12 Days of Christmas by Annie B. Spoke Art, which I am currently working on. I just don't have one started. I finished the first 6, so I need to do the second 6, which is another thing I want to complete in 2025. Okay, next whip is Soaring Santa by Stitch Rovia. I got this from the Ultimate Cross Stitch Christmas Magazine 2020 volume 19. You can also get it under a different name on their shop. I do believe that Stitch Rovia has an Etsy shop. And here is what I have. This is a 28 count DMC white that I softened using all the called for flosses, and I'm stitching it 2/2. I love this one. This one is the first project I've used an oval hoop on, which I really, really like the shape of, especially for a whip like this, where it's like carrying up and it's long and you're kind of working this way, but also working up and down just a little bit. I feel like this is the perfect project for an oval hoop, and I really enjoy it. It's one I got from Hobby Lobby. So yeah, there is that one. Oh, here's the hoop actually. Let me show it to you. Here it is. I just got this from Hobby Lobby. I showed it in a haul in a floss tube this year, but I really, really enjoy it. This is the only project I've used it on so far. I do just keep it in the project bag. And so when I need it, I can easily put it back on my fabric. I don't leave it on the fabric, but I do keep it in the bag so I can put it back on whenever I am working on it. And I've spilled all my flosses out for this one, so let me clean those up really quickly. And then my very last whip is the Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Christmas Village Country Church. Such a pretty little stitch. And here it is. I am stitching on the fabric, or on a fabric instead of the included perforated paper. I'm stitching it on 32 count Ren 2/2. This is a beautiful fabric. I just ordered a pretty big cut of this because I love it so much. So there's the trees, there's a window, there's a door. There's a lot of missing spots because that's where the beads go. But I can't wait to see it all come together once the beads go in. All right, and then that is my last whip. So I do want to say I was pulling out my kits and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have at least like 30 whips. And I was happily surprised to see I only had 15. Which kind of makes me want to start a lot of things. But also I really want to work on these projects in 2025. I have goals for them, which I'm going to do a planner setup video, setting up my cross stitch planner very soon. I don't know exactly when that'll be up, but I'm going to do that very soon. And when I do that, I'm going to kind of share my 2025 stitching plans. Loose plans. Plans are made to be changed, of course. This is a hobby, it's for fun, but I like having goals. Having goals makes me feel accomplished. I'm definitely a list making, goal setting person, so I do like to try to have them because it makes me feel better. Okay, that is all my whips for 2024 that I'll be carrying into 2025. Comment down below how many whips you currently have if you know the number. I think that's so fun to hear. Like, to me, it's crazy when people have like 50 or 60, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. I want to watch your whip parades. I want to hear about all the whips. That would personally stress me out, but I love hearing about it from you guys. So let me know how many whips you have currently down below, and I will see you in the new year. I hope you've had a wonderful 2024. I can't wait to see you again in 2025 and continue doing this. I have really enjoyed having this outlet this year, and yeah, enjoying and connecting with all of you in the comments. I feel like I know a lot of y'all because you'll comment on like every video, and I feel like I get to know you, and it's really like a conversation back and forth. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for commenting, for subscribing, for liking, for interacting in any way. I'm so glad and thankful to have you here, and I will see you in 2025. Bye guys.